Corruption has been defined differently. Some say that it is the use of public office for private benefit. But a friend of mine, Boima Fanbule, in Liberia, once told me that corruption is a nice name for theft. And he said, let us just call it what it is. It is theft on an industrial scale by people who have been given the honor and privilege of occupying public office. That is what corruption is. And it is a monster which has and continues to ravage the whole world. The politicians, not one of them, if there is one, I'm struggling to remember, who actually wants corruption to be fought. And when you go out to fight corruption, they'll fight you. They'll try to create things against you. And I've seen it across the continent of Africa. The social acceptance of corruption in Kenya, like most African countries, is also very high. We tolerate and love the corrupt. I remember at one time, we had caused several cabinet ministers to be arrested. One of them, actually, when we said we wanted to arrest him, said that the director of the Anti-Corruption Commission should go to his office. Can you believe it? The shortest avenue to ending corruption must come from the top. If we see cabinet ministers who are thieves, governors who are thieves, being arrested and their property being confiscated, and we write here, this property once belonged to so-and-so, who was a thief, it is now a public library. The world will know that once you are a thief, we'll never forget. We buy you from holding public office. You must, the fight against corruption must be vicious. That's why education is very important. It must be vicious. Young people must be made to have self-esteem. They must love themselves, respect themselves. Do they adore material things? Because the adoration of material things is what makes people to participate in corruption. Do they believe in intergenerational responsibility? In other words, do they believe that they are only in this world for a short time and they will sooner leave this world and go to the next? There is only one race in the world, the human race. And as Martin Luther King Jr. said, we are neighbors in this world, much more because of technology, but are we brothers and sisters? Because beyond the neighborhood, we must become brothers and sisters, because it is only in that way that I know that participating in corruption harms you. Why should I have 10 cars to do what with? Why should I have watches of gold? Why should I have a bed of gold and I need sleeping tablets to sleep? Why should I have all these things that we want to use in order to impress the world? And yet I cannot sleep, yet I do not have caviar and I have no appetite. These are the questions that the young people must ask. Europe and America are perhaps the most corrupt, but the smartest in the world of corruption. Most of the corrupt money or money out of corruption is kept in Switzerland. And ironically and paradoxically, when Transparency International is doing its indices on the least corrupt, Switzerland comes number one as the least corrupt. But the last time I checked, a handler of stolen goods is guiltier than the person who stole the goods because he is an enabler. So Switzerland is a beneficiary of corruption. That is smart corruption. All the tax havens, Cayman Islands, Guernsey, These are the home of corruption. African countries don't, African corrupt people, African thieves, even presidents don't have faith in the countries that they are governed, so they keep money in those places. So corruption in Europe has evolved and it's become a little smarter. And for that reason, they claim that they are not corrupt, but they are the ones who give a veneer of legality, and they're the ones who give refuge, if you may, to money that has been stolen, not only in Africa, but in different parts of the world. Corruption will never be totally eliminated. In the nature of human beings is that we'll always engage in some kind of shortcut, but corruption can be reduced to a very minimal level so that it is the exception rather than the rule. And that is what we are anchoring upon. We must reduce corruption so that it is the exception other than the rule. As it is now, corruption is the rule. Honesty is the exception. Can it be done? Yes, it can be done. Has it been done? Yes, it has been done. And I've already given you examples of countries where it has been done in our lifetime. It can be done so that when you want a passport, you'll get it. If they say it is in 3 days, you get it in 3 days. If you want a driving license, you'll do. If you want an immigration document, you'll get it. It can be done. And let me tell you, and I want to give personal example, which I seldom give, but I want to give. Whenever I've served in public office, one of the things that I tell people, you write me a letter, within 1 day, maximum, I'll have responded to your letter. They want to be judged not by their ethnic extraction or by the color of their skin. They want to be judged by the content of their character and what they can do. As Deng Xiaoping used to say, if you want the rat or the mouse to be caught, you don't care whether the cat is black and white. You just want a cat that catches the damn thing. And that is what the people want. Easier said than done. Others have done it. I've seen when there is a leadership in any country, that country thrives. During our own lifetime, we have seen Dubai rise from a desert like the phoenix. Chinua says, he does not know from what inexhaustible wells of patience the poor man in Africa draws. He is constantly abused by politicians and he or she does not react. He goes to a public rally and he is sitting under the hot sun. He or she is sitting under the hot sun. But the so-called leaders are sitting in air-conditioned places watching from afar, and then they harass them on the roads with their never-ending motorcades. And after they have finished, then they have a choice of the best food in the world, and we do not get angry. Africans must get angry. And once they are angry, that anger must be canalized and must be converted into something positive. It must be expressed at the ballot box so that we use it to consign these thieves where they belong. It must be expressed at the ballot box so that we use it to consign these thieves where they belong. It's not going to be easy because they are going to resist. But we must try. You can't say the door is locked unless you've pushed it to determine whether it's locked or not.